The manhole Hylo OG just drove by. He had a confused look on his face. I think he thought because it was Christmas Eve, we wouldn't be out here in the street shoe trapping. Nah, bro, the grind never stops. I was halfway through the Christmas Eve service, and then I realized my hobby jogger hat was still on my head. And at that point, I thought, I can't take it off now. We're in too deep. So you call standing on business. All right, today we are doing 5 best speed training shoes. Lighting is odd. Yesterday I was out here at, what time was it? Probably about 2 p.m. Today I'm out here at, no, yesterday was in the morning. Today I'm out here at 3:30 p.m. The light is always directly behind the house. But we're doing best speed training shoes of the year. I always like to define the category before I get into these shoes. Now, I have tested a lot of these. I'm guessing it's somewhere between 30 and 50. I'll tally it up after this. Yesterday, the count of the daily trainers was 67. Now, there is some overlap between what people consider a daily trainer and a speed training shoe. For example, the shoe I'm holding in my hand right now, Nike Pegasus Plus. Some people would consider this a speed trainer. Other people would consider it a daily trainer. I'll classify it as both, but what a speed training shoe for me is a shoe where you want to run fast and that you use to train the development of speed as a skill. Now, I've been using the Asics Gel Nimbus 27 a lot for my everyday runs and for walking around town since I got it. That is not a speed training shoe, and for a lot of people, it wouldn't even be a daily trainer because it is not a shoe that's designed for the development of speed as a skill. Now, can you run fast in it? Yes, you could run fast in a pair of Tims if you want, but real speed training shoes that are actively designed for the development of speed as a skill, typically are lighter weight, or they have a race foam in there. They might have a rocker. They might have a carbon fiber plate. They'll have some elements of race day shoes brought into a speed training package. And the thing that separates a training shoe for speed versus a race shoe is typically the foam isn't as exciting or soft or bouncy. It isn't the exact same compound in some of the cases, or you don't get the same exact carbon fiber plate. There's usually 1 or 2 elements where you're not getting the whole shebang on the speed shoe versus the race shoe. So this is actually the honorable mention here, Nike Pegasus Plus. Some people might be surprised to see this almost making the list. I did want to give this a shout out first because it is a great representation of speed training shoe. Now, it's not the best speed training shoe on the market, which is why it's not making my core list, but every time I put this shoe on, it just made me want to run fast. There's no magic sauce of this shoe. There's no crazy rocker. There's no incredible foam like you get in some of these other shoes on the market. It's not a super max shoe. It just has a nice streamlined fit. It's not even super lightweight, but the foam just works well. There's nothing here that you can't find in 12 other shoes, but it comes together in a really nice package, and it's one of those shoes where you put it on and you just want to run fast. Reminds me of the same character of a Rebel V3 or Nike Vaporfly 2. It's just that Cinderella slipper of mileage, of pace, of good vibes. That's what the Pegasus Plus is. And bonus, you can typically find this shoe on sale, especially if you go to the outlets and stuff. I think even $100 you can find this at some places. So what makes this a speed training shoe? It does have a performance fitting upper, nice and snug on the foot. You actually have a really narrow base here, and it has some version of Nike ZoomX foam. It's not the same ZoomX foam that's in the race shoe. So again, you get a modified version here that doesn't elevate it to that same tier as what you get in the race shoes. And unlike in race shoes, you get a lot of rubber coverage. So speed training shoes are typically less concerned with cutting to the maximum lowest weight, so you can have more features in them designed for training, like stability, durability, wet weather grip, etc. So honorable mention, Nike Pegasus Plus. Shout out to my guy Vinny B from Buffalo. He was one of the earliest watchers of the channel, by the way. He's an OG, but he absolutely loves Nike and loves the Pegasus Plus. He's been beating the drum on this and singing the praises since it first came out. I did not love it, mostly because of the price at first, but as I've gotten more miles in it, it's a shoe where I just can't have a bad run in it. It puts a smile on my face to run in the shoe and to run fast. So honorable mention, Nike Pegasus Plus, great value. All right, let us start core list here. Start from the bottom. Now we here. Start at the bottom from price-wise, $140. Boom, Brooks Hyperion 2. This is, in my hobby jogger opinion, the best lightweight speed training shoe. Now, within the speed category, you have long run marathon training shoes, what some people might call tempo shoes, what some people might call interval shoes. I simplify it and I throw these all into the same category. Any of these shoes where their primary purpose, their reason for being, is to help you train at faster paces. That's what the Hyperion 2 does, and what it's so good at is development of speed mechanics as a skill. So contrary to all those Super Max Stack shoes that I love and I talk about all the time, again, Asics Gel Nimbus 27, I've been running it. Asics Superblast 2, I've also been testing that a lot, trying to get that up past 100 miles to do a full review on it. Puma Mag Max, Brooks Glycerin Max. I love those shoes, but they're not the best for practicing speed as a skill at our high-end paces because we don't feel as connected to the ground and we don't have as much control over the platform. So occasionally, it doesn't even need to be once every week, but once every few weeks, I will do a workout in a shoe like the Hyperion 2, maybe even just once a month. But this was a great example. I did a 25-mile day just in this shoe, and that's a great workout to practice the mechanics of running fast. So that was my core test of the shoe. I have a bunch of other miles on it too. I think probably 40 or 50 miles on it. I did a 17-mile morning workout with 200s and 400s at a fast race pace, almost a mile race pace, and then I came back for an afternoon run, and it was great. This is the type of shoe where more versatile than you'd think. It can handle some relaxed paces, but where it really shines is just getting out here and ripping. If I want to practice running fast, almost sprint training, I would love a shoe like the Hyperion 2, very similar to the Pegasus Plus, but this is actually 50 grams lighter than the Pegasus Plus. That is 20% lighter than the Pegasus Plus. And one of the things Brooks was criticized for their performance shoes earlier this year was that they didn't have PIBA in them. Well, let me tell you something real quick here too about this Zoom X. This Zoom X that Nike puts in the Pegasus Plus, this is probably not PIBA either. And this DNA Flash that Brooks has in the Hyperion 2, this is a legit foam. Even though it's not PIBA, it responds really well. It's nice and lightweight. It's not that this is a super low stack shoe. Now, it is more flexible and connected than a lot of the other shoes, especially the plated ones, but this foam can still sing. And first running it, I said, man, this might be the speed trainer of the year, and it still is. It made this list, and for this exact category, lightweight, no frills, feel connection, running with strength and posture, developing control as a skill, developing confident pushing as a skill, because that's an element of running as well. This is a great pick. So $140, Brooks Hyperion 2, one of the best speed trainers of the year. Now, going up in price here, $150. I think people are going to be surprised about this one as well. You shouldn't be. Adidas Evo SL. Now, I think I've said this a few times, but people thought I was down on this shoe or hating on it or being a contrarian because I said it wasn't a good daily trainer. It's not a good daily trainer. The upper is very minimal back here. It is this super lightweight material. The heel is not super stable. You can see it actually has this weird bevel on the back, and it has a full race foam. A shoe with a midsole that has 100% race foam is going to, of course, be bouncy. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be designed for running fast, and it has a really nice rocker that puts you up on your toes. So all of these elements that make it more aggressive than I prefer for everyday miles. And man, what I want in a daily trainer, as I talked about yesterday, is reliability, support, versatility. That doesn't have the versatile part. It has maybe some of the other parts, but it's not supportive, and it's not great for running slow, at least for my paces, which are, my recovery pace is 7:30 plus, anything from 7:30 and slower than that. I do not love this, but for running fast, it's awesome. I did a 30-mile long run. So key test of this, I had 2 good runs in it. 30-mile long run, right out of the box, most of it at 6:50 to 7 flat pace, which is about a sub 3 hour marathon pace. And this is great. So you're doing sub 3 hour marathon training. This is going to be perfect. And it really comes alive when pushing the pace. I doubled back and did a second run in it last week. And it was just so bouncy at that 6:10, 6:20 pace, and you lock into this nice groove with it. It feels lightweight. I feel confident running in it. It's all around a solid, awesome shoe. And it reminds me a lot, actually, of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 with this rocker here. Now, it's less stable. It does have a small plastic piece in the midsole here. They call it a shank. It also does have Adidas's Continental grip, but it's not as stable and it's not as versatile as shoes like the Speed 3, which is, for me, if you were going to get this shoe, I would rotate it in with something with more support. For example, you could have the Mag Max in this, or even a New Balance 1080 if you just like soft shoes. in this, for me personally, would not be my choice as a daily trainer, but it's an awesome shoe. Also, the value you're getting at $150 is incredible. This is the best budget race shoe on the market right now. You can't find very many shoes under $200, under $180 that have a full race foam like this. And man, this is an awesome race foam. This is the real deal. When running fast, it comes alive a lot. Reminds me of the On Cloudboom Zone, which also almost made this list here, but the Pegasus Plus is pretty similar to the Cloudboom Zone, actually, at a cheaper price if you could find it on sale. And that shoe, Cloudboom Zone, is $210. So really awesome deal here. The availability part of it makes me annoyed, the fact that Adidas is doing this pricing thing. But hey, come on down to the Supwell app. We have lots of these shoes for sale. I see them go on sale almost every day on the used shoe marketplace. So Evo SL, $150. All right, next shoe on the list, coming in at $170. This is the Asics Magic Speed 4. Sometimes you have to take a break. Do we got anything in mail? Wow, we got a lot of Amazon today. All right, Asics Magic Speed 4. This is a very simple feeling shoe. It's light on foot. It has the carbon fiber plate. It has a nice rocker, a pucker race foam up in the forefoot. It's not gonna blow you away, but if you want a reliable speed training shoe, this is it. Like the Evo SL, it also feels like a great budget racing shoe. I did a 25-mile day in it, or a 24-mile day in it, and it performed great. So it's one of those shoes where it's just gonna get the job done. It feels light. It's softer than some of the other foams on the market, especially in the back here. It's very similar to the Nimbus 26 foam, actually, which I like. And the carbon fiber plate provides some nice reinforcement without being too stiff. So if you're looking for a solid marathon training shoe and you want something that can do shorter runs with pace, or even longer runs with marathon pace, this would be it. The downside is the stability isn't the best. Last two shoes here, the Big Daddies, as we're getting up in price, have better stability, but for $170, it's good value, right in the sweet spot. Compared to the Superblast, this is definitely more of that speed-oriented shoe. Superblast, for me, in both the OG and the 2, neither of them were that great for picking up the pace. I think the 2 is actually worse for me when it comes to picking up the pace. I just can't get that thing going. I lock in always around 7 flat to 720, and it doesn't encourage me to go much faster than that. But it also feels really easy to hold that pace for a long time. This, on the other hand, I had some of my fastest workouts in this shoe, clipping off 5:15 pace, 5:15 per mile pace kilometers, which is a weird conversion. So about 3:15 to 3:20 kilometers in this, and it did great. When you're getting up on the toes and again practicing that powerful but graceful style of running, this does great because the race foam activates. So not a shoe for chewing up a ton of relaxed miles because the stability in the heel isn't great, and also upper is a downside here, so not a shoe if I want a ton of comfort. But if you want a specialized speed training weapon, bada boom, bada bang, Asics Magic Speed 4. All right, let's get into the Big Daddies here. I'm excited. Got hobby joggers putting in the work everywhere on Christmas Eve. I love it. Brooks Hyperion Max 2. This is crazy because who would have thought Brooks would land 2 shoes on the 5 best speed training shoes of 2024. But the thing is, Hyperion 2, this is the best in that lightweight speed category. And then Hyperion Max 2, this is one of the best in the plated training category, man. This is better than the SC Trainer V3 when it comes to speed. This is better than the Zoom Fly 6. It's more reliable. It's better than a lot of those shoes out there. This is up there for me with the Boston 12 in terms of that fast speed training capability. Now, I almost want to say this shoe has been slept on, but it's not. People gave it the credit that it deserves. By the way, the sun has been in my eyes the entire time, but we just gotta keep it pushing. The snowman is more illuminated than I am. That's crazy. But yeah, people have given this shoe the respect it deserves. You get a tall stack of the DNA flash foam with the plastic plate, a formula that is, again, nothing revolutionary, nothing crazy here, but it's just a solid foam. It really stands up well to power, so if you're a bigger runner, this is perfect. One of the best rockers in the game. I mean, look at this. And unlike the first version of this shoe, which felt choppy if you landed more on the heel, this did not. And they reduced the drop. So smooth ride. Always encourage me to rip fast. I call these the fire-breathing dragons, and they have one of the best uppers of the year. This and the Nike Zoom Fly 6 had the 2 best speed trading uppers of the year. Thing is, the Zoom Fly 6 midsole was not good, and I always felt that I was slamming up against that plate, and different people had different opinions on that shoe, but I always felt that I was bottoming out the Zoom Fly 6. You're not going to get any of that here. So if you're a bigger runner looking for something for fast tempo style runs, this would be great. If you're training for a 3:30 marathon and you want a shoe to handle a lot of your workouts, be durable, do long runs, and you like a firmer ride, this is going to be great. By the way, I personally prefer a firmer ride for speed trading. That's why a lot of these shoes I brought out here, Hyperion 2, Pegasus Plus, and this are firmer. The Evo SL is more in the middle, but Lightstrike Pro does have this denser character to it, and then this has the carbon fiber plate, the Magic Speed 4, and the race foam in the forefoot, which does firm it up. So that's what I prefer for speed training. Hyperion Max has all that. Stability is great, and the plastic plate means you still get some flex and snap, so you do have more of that connected feel. So in terms of the marathon training, supportive, protective speed category, this is up there, man. This is better than the Evo SL. For that, if I had to do another 30-mile long run, I'd probably go Hyperion Max 2. The foam in the Evo SL stands up better, but just the stack and the protection of the Hyperion Max is better than what you get in the Evo SL. So how I'd compare these two is Evo SL, short and fast. Hyperion Max 2, more of supportive, more of the bigger runner shoe. Evo SL, the foam is nice though and bouncy. All right, last one here. This is, I know I'm not doing it by ranking them, I'm just doing it by price, but this one is probably my favorite speed training shoe of the year. Combines a lot of elements of this brand's other shoes into one package. Hoka Mach X2. If you guys have been following along for the past few months since I got it, you know I absolutely love this shoe. So key workout in this was actually on the treadmill. I did 8 miles of total work, around a 5:20 or 5:30 pace, broken up into sets of 2, so 4 by 2 on the treadmill. I also took this out for the last long run before Chicago, so 14-mile long run at about a 6:50 pace, so not super pushing it, and I've done some strides in it. And then before my ultra, I did right down the street here, there's a steep hill. I did 30 hill repeats up and down that hill, and I used this for a 27-mile day. That workout ended up being 8 miles, and in the morning, I already did a 19-mile workout in the SC Trainer V3. And the difference between this and the SC Trainer V3 is night and day. It's like a butter knife versus a machete. This is a speed training plus endurance weapon. It combines elements of comfort and support into the midsole with the capability to go fast. And again, a formula that is not being pioneered here. Firmer foam in the back for stability, softer, bouncier foam on the top and in the front for that pop with the plastic plate. That's the Boston 12 formula. That's the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 or variation of the formula. This formula has been used a lot, but the Mach X2 just brings the elements together so well. This Puma that they've chosen is tuned perfectly for fast running, and this rocker is the best rocker of the year. Hoka now has the best rockers in the game. This, Bondi 9, Skyward X, or Bandai. See, that's why I always say Bandai, because if I don't say Bandai, I say Bondi. And Bondi is not correct. You have to say Bandai. So Bandai 9, Mach 6. By the way, I know people already said I snubbed that on the daily trainer list. Did I snub it here? Maybe, maybe not. The reason I don't have that shoe anymore is because I had it in a 10.5 and it fit like a 9.5. So I sent it away. And so if your shoe is going to fit completely incorrect and be a full size too small, and that is the only shoe this entire year that fit that poorly out of the 100 plus shoes I've tested, I don't think you can make the list, the best of list, if you're sending me a shoe in a 10.5. I bought that one with my own money, by the way. That is a full size too small. So that's why the Mach 6 is in here. But man, everything in Hoka's lineup this year has been a banger. And the Mach X2 is no different. If I had to pick only one shoe to run in, or let's say 3 shoes to run in, this would be it. So spoiler alert, this is definitely making my list that I do of 5 best overall shoes this year. It's just that good. And now I know the main issue people are having is the upper digging into the back of their Achilles. I'm not going to minimize that because apparently a lot of people are having that issue. I have not had that issue. I don't have magical Achilles. I do always wear socks with padding around the back. And people say, you shouldn't have a special sock for a $200 shoe. I agree, but also if you typically just wear running socks, you shouldn't have the issue, so it's hard. I don't know. I haven't had that issue, and also my primary lens for reviewing these shoes is ride experience and midsole, and this is perfect. It's buttery smooth, it's stable, it has the balance, it can go long, it can go short. It's also one of the most versatile shoes out there. I've taken it on 10-minute mile runs with the family around the neighborhood here. I actually did that the day after I did that workout at 520 pace on the treadmill, and it was great for both of those. So total banger. If you want one new shoe for marathon training, say you have a simple everyday shoe right now, so think the Brooks Adrenaline or the Hoka Clifton or the Nike Pegasus, and you're looking for an exciting new shoe to add for marathon training, get this. Get this, man. This is a really solid shoe. Also get a pair of features, socks with the padding around the back just to prevent any issues, and you will be golden. So there you have it. Those were the best speed training shoes of 2024. I do this one take style, so sometimes I forget to say stuff. Yesterday in the Daily Trainer video, I didn't even tell you guys about the Supwell app. So if you have watched all the way here, you clearly like shoes. And if you like shoes, you should be on the Supwell app. The Supwell app is my app. I started it mainly so that I could have another place where everyone could come and talk about shoes. And because people kept asking me, it would be so cool if we had a buy, sell, and trade marketplace. And so I set it up. You can trade shoes. You can post deals you see. You can post about your training. You can DM me and ask questions. And if you are at 10.5, make sure you are signed up. 100% make sure you're signed up because I'm going to be giving away a bunch of free shoes soon. So that's my pitch for the Supwell app. It's $5 to get started. It's also a great way to stay accountable if you are looking to commit more to your running or also to general well-being and health and up in your best as we get into the new year. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Be happy. Live well. Get your miles in. Be like Rudolph. Be like Rudolph. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another show.